Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. Um, I'm going to be doing a series of lives. This is part one. Since several people, since all this shit hit the fan about me being a fake Houngan and people in the Vodou community having issues with the initiations that I offered, many people posted that why don't I tell my full story? Well, Baba Joseph's podcast was about voodoo, and that wasn't the time nor the place to speak on the negative experiences that I've had with voodoo. And the laws only give me permission now to speak on it, to emphasize why I'm so protective of anyone who chooses to initiate with me and giving them everything they need to be strong voodooisans and protect themselves. So this is going to be a multi-part series surrounding my direct experiences around initiations in Haitian Vodou, starting with the most recent involving Mambo Etna Josaphat and her family, of which she is the head voodooism. Give me a second. I'm getting my notes because it's a long story and I want to stay on track. So this is Mambo Etna Josaphat in the white and her daughter-in-law, Mambo Christine. This picture was taken after a lave tete that we did back in April. All of this calling me a fake Houngan started with her and then spiraled into Jean B. Malay, whom I don't know, never had a conversation with, and who followed me for a while before making a public call to stop me from doing initiations and for people to kill me. Jean B. Malay, taking his sip of liquid courage before he came against me as an Houngan, not even knowing who I am or who I studied with, what I'm capable of. So yeah, I watched this live, what I could stomach of it. William Polly Creole, Mkone toutes les dit, vive les mettre en babila. Got it. Est-ce que babila? No. No one's killed me. No one's killed my family. I see y'all lurking on my family's page. It's nothing new. We see who death has visited this year since all this started, and it hasn't been me. I'm every bit of the Houngan I say I am, and all their tactics have failed, sending everything from their petrol even T Malice and Metmanui was cute, and even using the Bible against me. How, when I hadn't done anything personally to any of them? None of it yielded any results other than parley with spirits, teaching me and enabling me to better prepare my godchildren for this warrior's cult we call Haitian Vodou. Edna is the cousin of my first Mambo, Marie Loiseau, which is why I trusted her invitation to attend our Fete Gede last year, only to find out they'd been working each other back and forth for years, even though Marie gave her the assan. We discussed working together and doing initiations together in New York. We planned a spring lave tete to fund buying structures to construct a djevo at her home, as her botanica was too small to facilitate a conzo. I had 3 godkids that I brought to her for lave tete, turning over my portion of their fees to go towards building the djevo at her home. Trying to build a working relationship. I had concerns about her stepdaughter Mambo Christine's involvement, as she was actively working Mambo Etna and had been caught in telephone conversations to workers back in Haiti. Confirmation was even received from others in Haiti that she still had childhood wounds from Etna taking her father from her, Franz Jean Baptiste, and that she wanted Etna dead to inherit her birthright of being in America and taking over Etna's botanica. Edna, myself, and other family members of theirs in the household had dreams and messages from the Loas, including Dontor, that she was up to no good and Dontor was going to punish her. Edna, determined not to let any outsiders be involved, promised she wouldn't be a problem. I warned Edna that I was going to war if anything shady went down with my godkids, and I meant every word of it. Etna required me to enter the djevo for this lave tete in order to work together. The first day of the lave tete, when she called her Ogu Farai, he made a quite lengthy speech in Creole, praising me and my bravery for still continuing with Vodou after all I experienced with other bad Houngans and Mambos, and for being courageous enough to do what Haitians won't even do, go to Haiti alone without American representation for Konzo. Edna's godbrother Houngan Mono asked me if I understood everything Farai was saying, as he didn't know I understood Creole very well. I said, oui, on comprend tout l'idée. This is Houngan Mono at Etna's Fete Gede last year, mounted by Farai there, mounted by Gede here. For the lave tete, I was not blindfolded for any of it, except when the Jean-Baptiste portion of Manger tete was performed for me. Then I was unblindfolded to observe it done for my godson, who had a bad conzo in Haiti that was supposed to be assogwe, but they gave him a soupouin number of packets, and his colliers were also made for soupouin, although they told him he was assogwe. Etna even explained to Houngan Mono before we got started the concerns with his status as assogwe, but reassured Mono that I was a true assogwe. She was teaching me this initiation process and that I wasn't to be blindfolded like the Unsis and my godson. Etna, Mono, and other Houngans and Mambos present know that this campaign to discredit me as an Houngan is bullshit, but keep quiet because they know Etna was wrong and experiencing retaliation from the Loas for what she did. Yes, she taught me how to do the initiations fully, and the Loas have been tweaking and adding things as they see fit. So to call me a fake and say I don't know what I'm doing, call Etna Josaphat, her family, Houngan Mono, and everyone who's ever participated in her initiations or taught her fakes as well. There were several concerns about Edna's conduct with my godchildren concerning the lave tete and her scamming and extorting my godson to correct what was missing from his conzo. He was in need of protection and only agreed to go through the lave tete with her in order to receive a gad because of some spiritual conflict he had outside of Vodou. She misled all the godchildren that they would receive this protection, but towards the end of the lave tete, told them that the gads weren't active until she fed them, which he refused to do, requiring them to return at a later date and pay her $500 more afterwards per person. And she charged them various prices for the lave tete, starting at $3,500 for the cheapest. She charged my godson an additional $1,800 to give him the missing paquettes he needed, which was only 4, and another almost $400 just for her stepdaughter, Mambo Christine, to call a Loa to do it. She convinced him he needed a separate cleansing bath before the lave tete even started, so his lave tete was $4,200 plus the $1,800 she sprung on him for the paquettes, plus $400 to call the Loa to consecrate them. Then at the end of it all, informed him he didn't even have the gad protection he came for, and that was the only reason he came to New York. And he would have to return to paying her another $500 to feed it. Needless to say, we were both livid during the lave tete process once she revealed that the gads would need to be fed. She went as far as to fake a possession of Ogu Farai and the djevo to lie to me that I could only teach him a little and not teach him the things an assogwe should know, and that after all this, he would still need to pay her to console him assogwe. This was following a genuine possession of Izuli Gran, who came to greet me in the djevo because unknowingly to Etna, I had done work with her prior to going to New York to protect my godkids from her and her goddaughter, or her stepdaughter. The lave tete was in April of this year, 2024. Temperatures were getting down to freezing at night, and anyone who knows lave tete knows your head is wet the whole time, and maybe just your upper body if you're lucky. So heat was necessary for health reasons, and the generator kept failing for various reasons, and the Mama Unyo, who was Mambo Christine, her stepdaughter, was unresponsive to the bell the entire first night we went in the djevo. When questioned the next day, as she was the officiating Mambo. The other issues with the lave tete were that Etna lied to me about which Loa she even gave my goddaughter's gads for. They were Unsis, and my godson and I had both already been through Konzo. The issue with my godson not receiving the protection of the gad he came for blew up into a bigger issue When I confronted Etna to teach him how to work, how to do lamps, baths, something to protect himself, since she charged him all this money for things he didn't come for, and he still wasn't getting the protection that he spent all this money and traveled to New York for. She refused until I confronted her in front of him and Mambo Christine after the ceremony was over. Embarrassed, she conceded and at minimally gave him a recipe for a lamp with Dontor that he probably could have found on Facebook himself, and said that he wasn't assogwe, so he wasn't able to make baths, which we all know is bullshit. She refused to give me any of the godchildren's potets, and Loaz informed me regularly about the things she's doing to those potets and their headwaters that she kept some of, working them with Aida Wedo for domination and control. When I left her home with my own things, she yelled, refusing to give me my children's potets, that we weren't going to leave her like everyone else has. She even works all her biological children to stay at home as adults too, contributing to bills because she's on oxygen and not getting good client work since being put on oxygen during COVID and the shutdown. Her own Loaz came to me and revealed that she's on oxygen because of retaliation from Haiti by a family that she screwed over with scammy work to get them visas to come to America that never went through. She nickeled and dimed them, charging more and more for work every time with no results. So even Haitians themselves aren't safe from the way Mambos like her conduct business. I said it when I went to war for my god kids and offered initiations, making sure initiates are protected, no clothing, head water, potets will be kept from initiation, that these Loaz are sick of being used in such ways against innocent people. It's oppression, the same oppression that voodoo was created to combat. Someone died in the djevo during Konzo in Haiti this year. It was just recently in the news that almost 200 Houngans and Mambos were murdered near Port-au-Prince, recently for working to kill a gangster's son. How much more death and destruction is going to have to visit these Houngans and Mambos that operate like this before they stop being selfish and oppressive with the power that is supposed to be used to liberate communities? I, for one, will not succumb to these ways and still offer elevation to those who are truly called by the Loaz and seek to do the community work Houngans and Mambos are supposed to be doing. My unsi is already proof of it. They've come for my unsi unsuccessfully, sending this spirit and that, trying to sabotage work that she posts on Facebook, petty impoverished mindset shit. Why exert all this energy on me, a so-called fake Houngan, and my unsi? People think I'm stupid and they believe the propaganda that I'm not who I say I am, that I'm not a real Houngan. Think what you want. I was told after, but you see I'm still here. Even after there was a public call to Metem Anbabila to kill me, I was told after my Konzo Assogwe that voodoo is not for the faint of heart. It truly isn't. If you're not resilient and prepared for people to try you spiritually and magically, then this tradition isn't for you. As you can see, nobody killed me or put me under the waters, and I'm still actively doing the work, just more strategically and privately now. Since minding my own business, affecting nobody in the community, just making products and doing the work to help people, led to all this hatred and death threats against me that went nowhere. Trust I know exactly who's doing what with which Loa and even spirits outside of Vodou. But I guarantee Mambo Etna won't be doing any more initiations, not without partnering with someone else that can facilitate anyway. Especially since she wanted me to raise the prices after this botched lave tete where she tried to scam my students. The ceremony was legit. They received what they were supposed to receive, but the prices and the dropping the ball with the heat, putting our health in danger, there was a lot of scamming and bullshit that went on even though the ceremony was legit. And afterwards, she heard that another Mambo had done a lave tete in New York where she charged $6,000 to $7,000 per person. So she discussed with me afterwards, after the ceremony was over, after I had to force her to teach my godson anything to protect himself after he's spent thousands of dollars with her, that she wanted to raise the price of lave tete to $7,000 and $16,000 to do soupuen. This is why I listened to Papa Loco when he said for me to offer what he said to and the price that he gave me. Yes, I know which local it was and what region he comes from for anybody who doubts that. I'm going to do other parts, other series on other experiences, but this was just my experience most recently with this Mambo, and why Local came to me and gave me the instructions and told me to do what I'm doing. For more information, follow my Societe's Facebook page, Societe Terre Rouge, and my website, botanicaterrerouge.square.site, and stay tuned for the next part of my story.